Thank you very much. Yes, talking about technology of the 21st century, if you're trying to use it, you might run into troubles, as you have just seen from my presentation. So thank you very much again to all of you. And this is my a little bit personal wrap-up as coordinator of the project of the last 3 days. And of course, it's a little bit skewed, but hopefully it will help us to recap a little bit. And also, by the way, I have some homework for you. So we went through that circle of the project steps and also of the important elements we had talked about, thinking about the wider science policy landscape, which we came back today when it comes to the science landscape. We thought about the NOC and so on, the different steps. So let me recap a little bit on that. First of all, the wider science society, science policy interface. I think some things we take back in revising and further developing our work over the next months is that it's a very valuable step which we did here with the posters, with the discussion today, to further clarify the links of the science policy interface to existing initiatives, the benefits and the contributions we can get from them, help with the visibility also of the research we are doing, and then how it is linked to infrastructures, to data providers, to networks and societies, to knowledgeable institutions from all different kinds. And this is something we will really bring forward. Also, not forgetting that these networks actually are really also a link on the international level. And as we just heard from Adrian and Anne, of course, we will seek the dialogue with the decision-making and the policy to really think about what the mandate of this offer, of this product, I would say, that we can offer here, how this can actually be linked to the policy processes so that it really also gives an impetus for us scientists to really get engaged. Because in the end also we are of course interested that our voice is not only, we are not only producing synthesis, but that actually the synthesis is made relevant. So with that, I would shortly like to recap on the challenges, because we have talked a lot about this, and of course there are lots of challenges, but I think we also came up with some solutions on them, and I think these 5 bubbles that Esther had presented to us yesterday really captured very nice. I will not go through all these points right now. This is just highlights, just to remind ourselves that of course the process is important, thinking about how we, I would say step by step, involve beyond the usual suspects, involve other forms of knowledge, involve other disciplines, and so on. We need to identify the roles of the bodies, for example. When it comes to communication, it was very much stressed that we need guiding principles there, that it's open and transparent. We need to think carefully about terminology. No NOx just reminds me that we should think about using less acronyms. And also, of course, the involvement of communication experts in all this is quite important, and also some things which we will surely take up as a major point in the white paper, making clear that how the networking is actually linked to the capacity building, because this is something we really need, not only in the global level, but really also in Europe. So with that, addressing the challenges and thinking about the design options, again, I want to just highlight a few points. I think we really came up to some ideas on the joint lines on what needs to be done further. We need to develop a clear vision jointly with the whole community on what is this tool for. We have to, I think we have identified quite some building blocks in the breakout groups yesterday, which are more coming from this network perspective on the one hand and the platform perspective on the other. And we need to put them together into the most viable steps for establishing something. And the governance for that needs to be inclusive, that's for clear. But on the other hand, of course, the clear roles for major partners needs to be balanced. And this is a challenge. We got really some very good ideas yesterday, and we will take them up into developing further our options model on that. And this will be important. We need a strong secretariat for the communication and the process management. This was also something which was clearly coming from the test cases, for example. And we have a clear methodological process. I just put here, it has been approved because I think this was not really contested, because it's really settled. It's also along the lines of other processes like IPBES, like Barbara had shown, for example. And so this is important. And also not forgetting the useful tools. I shortened this a little bit here, the discussion on the tools and on the web tools, for example. It should have visibility, it should be a single entry point, linking up with existing ones, being an aggregator of information, and the issue of personalized interfaces I put here as well, because in the end, we are all individuals with individual interests. Then, last not least, coming slowly to the end, I wanted to remind ourselves, because I was really impressed today of the commitment, the ideas of commitment that we got from all the networks. I wanted to come back to this triangle here, which still has not all logos in there, but it's, I think, showing that really there is a networking going on already. It's not separated entities, it's really something that is being networking. And we also had the sentence today of coming into second order or second generation of networking now when it comes to science policy, but also when it comes to scientific collaboration, I would say. And this is, I think, something we need to bear in mind for the future. And with that, I come to your homework, because I thought you have been working with us so brilliantly over the last 3 days. Thank you very much again for that. But nonetheless, we thought about, okay, it would be really good that you are bringing this networking idea further, in a sense that having a small homework and just inviting you, think about the 3 to 5 people you really want to talk about it when you're going home. So, and you have different occasions for that. First of all, we have still lots of bunches of our flyers here. You can't just take 5 of them and really distribute them to the people and talk about it. Try to explain it to them, probably. Also, you can announce the video once it's finished. It will be soon in the next weeks, so that you can promote the video, so that you can look at it. We will, as we said, we will write down this table of the links between the potential contributions and the institutions, so you can invite also other institutions to actually join that on the web and fill it in. And of course, also talk about the conference. Tell people what we have been doing here. So this would be really, really good. And of course, stay tuned, because we will ask you for more input later on. So the flyers are here. And with that, with that, I come to, well, our next steps, to be very explicit on that. Of course, this is not the whole summary of the conference. The conference will be summarized through a report with all the inputs, compiling them, which will be done by the facilitator team in the next 4 weeks, I would say. This is the sheets of the participatory walk, the different cases we worked on. We worked on the building blocks for the design options and the input we got yesterday from the breakout groups. Then, of course, the contributions and benefits for the hub. These tables, they will be provided to you, so you can add on them or change them and so on. And what is also important, and this was mentioned by Anne as well, there will be further workshops going on already in the next months. There will be the one that Anne mentioned in October, talking about the policy side of the whole discussion about the science policy interface. And also there will be one meeting organized by DG RTD on, where they bring together EU projects on the issue of SPI. So this discussion will be going on. It's not just this conference and then it's fading away. It's really something that we want to develop further. And of course, what is important, we will be putting all the lessons learned from today, from these days, into the white paper revision. We will invite you again to contribute to it, to comment on it if you like. Might be by the end of the year. We have a forum on the website where you can do that. We will inform you about that. And ideally, of course, we would like to invite, especially the networks who have been sitting here on the plenary recently, to also go one step further beyond the white paper and really think about what could be the business plan in order to jump, as we said, so that we deliver something which we also want to present to policy in a final workshop of this project in Brussels by the end of the project, which will be March or April. So this is really something we want to present, and as we said, of course, in order to jump, as Jürgen said, if you use a parachute or whatever, of course you need to, we think we are really getting towards and having now a viable proposal by the end of the project, which can really do that, which can be field tested in an interim phase of really setting it up and then get implemented. But of course, if you're jumping in that way, I don't know if anybody of you does this, you of course have to be aware. You have to go on the mountains and really look into the landscape, look where we are starting, look where you are supposed to land, because otherwise you will end up hanging in the trees. And this is, of course, something that, although we know we have to jump, the jump needs to be prepared carefully. And this is what we have been doing now for a while, and we will be doing a little bit more, and I hope you all help us in preparing that jump so that the jump actually works out. With that, this is a reminder for myself, before I close my presentation, before I do that, this was exactly the point. Heidi wanted to remind me on that. This is another reminder that now is the point. If you want to raise anything, any additional points, any comment, that would be the point to do it.
No one does it. I want to thank the organizers for the perfect organization. That was one of the most likable meetings I ever had. From the buffet and the metro ticket on the back of the badge, so a lot of very nice details. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Michael. We take this as a motivation to do it again that way. If there is no other question, then you give me the perfect occasion to come back to my exclamation mark, which reminded me on something. And this is the challenge with the technology, you know, because you thanked us, and actually I'm now in the position to thank people. First of all, to all numerous facilitators. I don't dare to name all of them. Thank you very much from the team. You know, there have been 20 people around this room more or less intensively working on that. And I would like you to give a hand for them for working so hard over these days that it really worked in that very, very hard participatory way that we did here. Also, I'd like to thank the technical team around us, here from the facility, from Jerusalem-Kirche, but also, of course, our colleagues from the web streaming, who ensured that this is really participatory in the sense that everybody in the world could watch us, at least in the plenary session. So thanks again for you all for providing that. And last not least, as usual, you have the main organizers of all of this, and you might have noticed, of course, this has been Marie, who has been all around the place and all around, well, every email and so on. So Marie and Caroline, please come forward to thank you. Marie, it's now one big box of chocolate, but I think you will be able to share it a little bit. So this is for you, because you can't imagine how hard they worked to actually get this done here, and especially during the meeting. So thanks a lot again.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. We share the same office, so we will have a lot of chocolate. I just want to thank very much Caroline, because without her, I think this conference will not have been the same. I think you will have probably eaten dinosaur instead of eating under a dinosaur, because my German is not so good yet. So thank you so much. Another applause for Caroline.
So this brings me back to my last slide, which is thanking you all for coming. Please keep in touch. We still have we went a long way, but we still have a long way to go. And well, finally the sun is coming out. I don't know what this means. At least you are released now to enjoy the sun in Berlin a little bit. Have a safe trip home. And well, we will keep in touch with all of you on many, many occasions. Final words to Ellen.
Yes, before you all go, I think I'd like to more or less repeat what Michael just said a minute ago. Before I do, I'm going to add my thanks to Marie, and just tell everybody in the room here that it's maybe a well-kept secret that Carsten and I have been fighting over you all year long to get your help this time of year. and Carsten won, and I think we should all be grateful for that. And we should all be grateful for the work that Carsten has put into this and the project as a whole. It's the most challenging project that I've ever been involved in, and it's thanks to this guy that we've got to this step. So thanks very much, Carsten.